And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. Guys, today we've got some huge news as Nigel Farage, by the looks of things, has made a massive U-turn on where he once stood. And it just goes to show, if you put pressure on political parties, they kind of go where the wind blows, and you should hold them to account. Now, again, on this channel I've been saying a lot about reform, and I have been fairly vocal and, expressed my concerns about what they are going to do when they come into power. Now, of course, they have snowballed. They're in a great place. They have got a lot of people and are currently behind them. But the people that kind of stood by them at the start, if you think about last summer, kind of got them into the position they were in the first place, were let down by stuff that we've seen over the last sort of year. And that comes with sort of talking about not doing mass deportations. In fact, Nigel Farage a month ago, 2 months ago, in an interview said that it was a political impossibility. However, he has changed his tune and made a massive U-turn on his stance a couple of months ago, and this is pretty huge for the Reform Party, as he's now revealed the long-awaited plans to tackle Britain's migrant crisis head-on first and foremost, but also the big one, mass deportations. Now, speaking to the Times, Farage outlined a sweeping and hardline mass deportation bill that he vows to introduce if Reform wins the next general election. His message is blunt: Britain's borders will be secured and those here are illegally will be deported. Under these new proposals, no asylum claims will be accepted from those arriving illegally, which is big. Migrants will also be housed in disused military bases, not luxury hotels, and they will not be free to leave. I've been discussing that so many times when we hear about these sexual assaults or these crimes committed by illegal migrants coming out to hotels. Why the hell are they allowed to roam the streets? So that's quite a good thing there, of course, that migrants who do cross over illegally will be put into a military base. They'll be put into a bit of a compound, and they won't, of course, be allowed to free to leave and roam the streets. It just makes no sense. They should be detained. They've committed an illegal act. Now, he's also spoke about return agreements. He said that they will be pursued with countries like Afghanistan and others, with new third country deals considered with Rwanda, Albania, or even Ascension Island in the Atlantic as a fallback. He also said a future Reform Home Secretary will be legally bound to deport illegal migrants, with the ECHR scrapped and replaced by a new British Bill of Rights. He also stated that 5 RAF Voyager flights a day would be chartered to carry deportees out of the country. He also stated new criminal offences would be target those destroying their documents and attempting to return after deportation. Farage also insisted, of course, that this plan is not just bold but necessary. He warned Britain is facing a crisis of national security and public order, saying, "We have a massive crisis in Britain. It is not about only posting a national security threat, but is leading to public anger that frankly is not very far away from disorder. There is only one way to stop people coming into Britain, and that is to detain them and deport them." The Reform leader dismissed concerns about welfare of deportees once returned, saying Britain's first duty is to its own people. He stated, "I'm really sorry. We can't be responsible for everything that happens in the world, in the whole world. Who is our priority? Is the safety and security of this country and its people? Or are we going to be worrying about everybody else and the foreign courts?" The plan is expected to cost £10 billion over 5 years, and Farage argued ultimately it would save taxpayers money compared with the current bill for housing and processing migrants. As stated, it is pretty good, but it also shows that, of course, political parties do go where the wind blows. It was only a few months ago that he was saying that mass deportations were a political impossibility, and we've seen the emergence of Advance UK that are close to 30,000 members, I think, at the time of recording this. But it just goes to show that they will do and see what is being said online. People giving Nigel Farage, and rightfully so, and the Reform Party some criticism, and now, of course, they're taking that sort of hard right stance, which is needed in this country and which is needed to have been done. But, of course, this wasn't a video interview as such. This was more of a interview in the paper with, of course, the Times. But, again, outlining something, and of course, finally using the words coming out of his mouth of mass deportations, which people have been waiting for and have wanted to hear from him himself. We heard Sarah, of course, one of the Reform MPs, talk about this maybe a couple of weeks ago. We did a little bit of a live stream, but I've not heard Nigel Farage stating that he's going to be doing mass deportations. And of course, this mass deportation bill that he's going to be introducing is a huge announcement and, of course, a U-turn. Guys, do let me know your thoughts on that down there in the comment section below.
In other news, Health Secretary Wes Streeting has acknowledged that Labour has fallen short in convincing the public about its vision for transforming Britain. In comments to former Conservative Chancellor George Osborne, Streeting conceded the government lacks a coherent enough story regarding its plans for national improvement. The admission comes as Prime Minister Keir Starmer reportedly prepares for a second significant reset in the autumn following a challenging 13 months in office. Starmer's approval ratings have plummeted to unprecedented lows amid accusations that Britain remains broken during his tenure. Streeting's assessment highlights growing concerns within Labour about the party's messaging effectiveness after more than a year in government. Despite claiming a whole number of achievements during Labour's first year, Streeting pointed to reduced NHS waiting times and expanded free school meals benefiting 100,000 children in poverty. Yet the government faces sharp criticism over mounting challenges, particularly regarding asylum seekers in hotels. The Health Secretary emphasised that Labour must leverage its governing position to set the agenda more effectively, especially given mounting pressure from Nigel Farage's Reform UK. Farage has directly confronted the Prime Minister about illegal immigration and crime rates, recently initiating a Lawless Britain campaign targeting Labour's performance. Speaking to the Reform UK leader, Mr. Streeting said, "We mustn't fall into the trap of letting Farage set the terms of the debate for us. Our most successful moments in the last 12 months have been where we have set the agenda, where we've gone out and made arguments as a government and shown to be delivering as well, because that's what people want. People want to feel change. They want to feel like the government is driving the country forward in the right direction." Mr. Streeting said that the Prime Minister has not communicated that he is a bold leader to the public clearly enough. Labour has begun to heavily target reform in recent weeks, including on social media, where the party's account has referred to Farage and Reform UK over 20 times in August. Mr. Streeting said that Reform's rise represented a major party realignment on the right, and that the Tories now feel less and less relevant as an opposition. He added, "If I think back to all of the conversations I've had with Keir in the last 12 months, there hasn't been a single one where he said, 'Whoa, slow down a minute, I'm not sure about that.' It's always been go harder, go faster, be bolder. And I think that side of his leadership his team, we need to show more of that." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.